Hello and welcome. My name is FC and this is FC Reviews. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you very much for watching, liking, and sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. Now, what do I have next to me? This is the 6th generation 2025 Ford Explorer. This tester is in the Platinum trim, which is one level below the ST. The ST is the highest, most expensive version. This one is this is the luxury version. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the tech, the features, go for a quick drive, and give you my final thoughts. And before I continue, I wanna say a big thank you to Ford for allowing me to have this car in my home test area for me to live with and review for you guys. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. All right, let's talk 2025 Ford Explorer. This is the Platinum trim. This is like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is the trim below the ST. So this is the luxury version. And let's talk about the styling. For 2025, the Ford Explorer received a mid-cycle refresh. What does that mean? Basically, Ford did some nip tuck here and there, some changes starting up front. New for 2025 has the big and bold grille. Very prominent. This one because is the Platinum, so the grills are going to be a little different between each trim. For example, the ST version, it'll be all blacked out and it'll have a little red ST badge on the bottom right hand side. This one being the Platinum, it's the luxury version. It's has a little bit more bling. And also new for 2025 are these headlights. The headlights are now adaptive lighting, which is standard on the Platinum. Of course, full LED, automatic high beam. As you can see, the turn signals are LED. Everything in this vehicle is LED in up front. You also have radar sensors, which are maybe hard to pick up on camera, all over the front. There is the sensor for the automatic cruise control, which is Ford calls Blue Cruise, which this vehicle actually does have, which we'll go over in an interior portion later. And there's the camera for the lane departure warning. Actual functioning little vents here for cooling the brakes. And it's not about looking SUV. This is, you could think the Ford Explorer as the OG SUV that started the SUV trend way back when, in its first generation, all the way in 1990. This generation came out in 2020, which is the 6th generation. So power is very similar to the previous years, but this one, of course, has a different face, of course, in the 2024. In the power department, it has two motors. There is the base 2.3 EcoBoost turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 300 horsepower and 310 pounds-feet of torque, like my tester has. And then there is a V6 twin turbo that has 400 horsepower and 410 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to a 10-speed automatic. Rear-wheel drive is standard and all-wheel drive is optional. Now, let's keep walking around the sides here. My tester is sitting on 21-inch wheels, can't speak, wrapped on Michelin Primacy tires, 255/55s, nice bold chrome, I guess aluminum silver finish wheels. You can get 21s also in the Platinum. You got, of course, dark accents on the wheel wells. You have black mirror caps, which is a nice little touch. Integrated turn signals here. Integrated camera, because this vehicle does have the 360 camera, being that it is the Platinum, and that's all standard, by the way. Explorer written out, hard to see on camera, but Explorer written out right there on the Racco panels. And this is the OG. You know, you may be driving and be behind one of these will be a cop. Usually cops, of course. These are very famous and popular with fleet for law enforcement. And moving on to the back, here you can see more of a little bit of the changes for 2025. So taillights are very similar to the 24s, but new for 25 is this little kind of like a racetrack little marks over here, which is kind of cool. I have the turn signals turned on so you guys can see. Platinum badge on the left, all-wheel drive badge on the right. It says Explorer here, but it's hardly to see because it is blacked out. And now that we're back here, let's take a look at the cargo area behind the third row. And it's very, very good. It's decent. There's a good, nice space behind the second row. This one has, of course, has third row. For 25, they're all also power operated, as you guys can see. So power reclining. You got the headrest right there, and you got a decent space behind the third row seat. I will insert the measurements with the seat up and the seat down, but we'll go over the interior portion a little later. So to fold them back down, just press that same button right there, and they whoosh back down, back to their down position. And you do get a little extra cubby underneath. Ford was nice enough to give me a snow remover because I live in New York in the Northeast, so nice of them to send me the car prepped already. And you do got two little extra cubbies on each side over here, which I can't open because I have gloves on. Yeah, extra cubbies here on each side, which is nice. The car does have a spare, and that spare tire lives underneath this cover here. You can lift this up, and you do get an actual spare tire, which is a welcome surprise for a vehicle in 2024. And to close the gate, of course, you just press the button here, and it whoozes and it closes down. All right, let's take a look at a closer look at the engine, because this one has a 2.3 EcoBoost engine. Then we'll go in the interior. We'll talk about the tech, the features, and check out the third row seat, and then we'll go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the engine bay and the power plant, one of two power plants available in the Ford Explorer. And there it is. This is a 2.3 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. And if you are a little car savvy, you will notice it's sitting longitudinally, because this is sending more power to the rear wheels, because it's a rear-wheel drive architecture in comparison to previous years. And a lot of room in here. You got a lot of room because a V6 also fits in here. Very straightforward, nothing crazy. You do have a nice little strut brace there for better handling and support. And that's pretty much it. Simple, nothing crazy. Windshield washer right there on the left. You know, you got coolant here on the right, and engine oil is somewhere. Can't see it at the moment. Oh, engine oil is right there, the dipstick and everything like that. So very easy to get to. And that's it. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the tech, and go for a quick drive of the 2025 Ford Explorer. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the interior of the 2025 Ford Explorer, which also Ford did some updates. And let's show you the key. This is what the key looks like. This is a typical Ford key, which is very similar to other models. You have unlock, lock, remote start, trunk opener, panic, and then you have the metal key here. And this vehicle does have remote start, so you could just press lock and you just press this twice. It blinks, and of course the car turns on. It will turn on for about 15 minutes, which you can control in the infotainment screen. And then you can just turn it off here. But let's take a look inside. And to get in, very simple affair. You just put your hand on the door handle like so. Mirrors unlock. As you can see, you have a little approach light. Nice little puddle light to open. And materials are very, very nice. Materials are soft padded materials on the door panels. You know, I don't know if it's rear wood. I tried looking for it in the specs. I didn't find anywhere, but if it's not, it looks like real wood. Soft padded materials here. I do like this little aluminum trim here, and this one, because it has the Bang & Olufsen sound system. I like the little grill, the grill that it has, which is pretty cool. Paddles, you know, soft pad on the bottom. Here are the controls for the lock unlock and the memory seats, because it does have memory for 3 drivers, which you'll remember the mirrors, the seat, and the steering wheel, because this one has tilt telescopic power steering wheel. And you do have, moving on back to the door, nice deep pocket, so you can put a big bottle in here. This one has the door sills that say Explorer. A little hard to pick up on camera, but they do light up. And on the left hand side here is typical Ford controls. Very simple, straightforward, automatic headlights, off and on, trunk release and opening. And let's step into, oh, and the seats are full real leather seats. This one is kind of like a chocolate brown. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe, but and also hard to see it on camera, but they're very comfortable and they're very, very soft. And they are, this vehicle does have 4-way lumbar support and massaging seats, which I'll go over later. And let's step inside. So once you step inside, the car kind of gives you a little bit of a greeting. Let me see if it does. Oh, there it goes. A little bit of a greeting. You got the Ford Explorer here on the 12.2 inch screen. And this one is a new for 2025, a 13.2 infotainment screen here. Very bright, as you guys can see. The car is giving you like a little welcome, which is cool. These little beady eyes you see blinking only are shown on camera, not in real life. And what that is part of the Ford Blue Cruise, the automated cruise control, which allows you to completely drive the car on hands-free mode in major roadways and highways. It will let you know on the cluster that you can use Blue Cruise. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have controls for the media. Left side, you have control for basically both. You have cruise control on top right here, so you could turn it on and off. The cruise control set the speed, the distance, lane guidance systems here. Turn it off, and then you have on the bottom, you have volume up and down, and you have mute. And then on the right hand side, you have back button, which controls that screen. I'll show you in a second. You can go up and down, menu, voice command, pick up and hang up, and track forward and backwards. And it does have here the control for the turn signal, on the left, wiper controls on the right. And let's turn it on. Start button is right here. And as you guys can see, vehicle comes to life. And this vehicle does have heated and cooled front seats, which is a nice touch. Thank you, Ford. And the steering wheel heats completely, not just half, not just that's the size, like typical car do that. And as you can see, the steering wheel is power and tilt. Like I mentioned, that screen is configurable to a certain extent. So right now I have it set to showing me the temperature gauge. You can do off-road gauges, so it can give you different angles and pitch. This is a seatbelt reminder, that's fine. And then you can engine temperature and transmission temperature, which is cool to see that. A lot of cars don't do that nowadays. Taillight status, if you have a trailer, because this has a 7-pin connector and a 4-pin connector in the rear. And now if I change, I was information screen. So if I go here to trip fuel economy, there's a fuel economy gauge. You can just, of course, press the OK button and reset it. And it gives you a nice little thing. And then you go My View. So this is fuel economy. You got trip 1. You got trip 2. And tire pressure gauge for all 4 tires. And then you can configure each independent view, but then you can go all the way up. And then also it will show you a map view, because this vehicle, being that it has Android Automotive, which this is actually Google Maps, native Google Maps. Because this unit is using Android Automotive, like I said, the operating system, it's no longer Ford Sync. This is full-blown Android 12 at this point. And you have things like Google Maps, access to the Play Store, Google Assistant, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard, Amazon Alexa. And you can even watch your favorite YouTuber on YouTube. And you can see actual videos live which is pretty cool, if I gotta say so myself. And you can go full-fledged and see full-fledged YouTube videos on your car, which is, how cool is that? Look at that. You could just, and then make it full screen, and of course you can hear it through the car speakers, which is awesome, I gotta say. And especially for the kids. If you got kids, of course, being this is a family vehicle, this is a good thing to have in your modern car without having a data plan. And it's pretty cool. You know, there is yours truly on screen in a Ford, reviewing a Ford. Kind of cool. All right, so let's carry on back to the main screen. Oh, and this is what the home screen looks like. So here you can control the ambient lighting, which this vehicle has. So it has a bunch of different colors. It shows you what it's doing. And the seats. So here you can control the massaging seats for both driver and passenger. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different massaging. So you got low, medium, and high. You got lower rolling, upper rolling, circular cushion, full recovery, and it shows you a little graphic of what it's doing as we speak. It's actually doing it right now. Relax mode. So very interesting. You got a long day at work, you're tired, and you could do the same thing for both, not just the driver, the passenger as well, which is a neat feature. And then because it has four-way lumbar support, you can actually look at that. You can actually select and turn it on right from the seat itself, which is very, very nice. But you can just turn that off, and then you could do, you could do different levels here, what bolster you want to adjust, which is very, very nice. Very cool. A lot of flexibility. Of course, the vehicle does have dual zone climate control, as you guys can see. Nice little graphics and animation. You see the airflow there. You can set everything to auto. And what that means is when you set everything to auto, you can set the seat to be auto, and it turns on the steering wheel and the auto seat for the passenger side, which is very cool. So, and once you turn on the remote start, it will pretty much turn everything, and you come in here and everything is turned on, ready to go. It does have rear climate control, which, as you can see, it blows air from different directions back there. You could turn on this fan speed, the temperature control here, and there's a separate control in the back, which we'll go over later in the back section. The system is very snappy because it's running, it's Google. It's very, very quick. This is kind of like your home screen here. If my phone was set up, if Android Auto will be running, you will see full-blown Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And here you can turn on hill descent control, which is basically, and it lets you know on the cluster, which is basically like automated, like off-road cruise control, basically. Settings, you can do lighting, you can tell it to turn on at 30 minutes. I mean, all kinds of things in this screen to completely control your vehicle. And you go to see the apps, what's installed, Google Maps, YouTube. Very, very cool, very snappy system. Here's your control for your towing. You can add a trailer and everything. You could do the aids. Very, very easy, straightforward system to use. It does come with data when you buy the car. Not sure how long the data is, but I will insert the information in the video. And what that means is you have full connectivity, of course, to run Google Maps because it needs data. And you can talk to it as you would your phone, which is very cool. So you got the voice command there and things like that. And moving on back to the infotainment instrument cluster, as you guys can see, you are seeing a map view, which is cool. The speedometer there. And then if you continue back to my view, you can go to driver assistance mode, which will just show you the little car in the middle. Com screen, which basically does this, and it completely unclutters the screen. It just leaves you a giant speedometer, a car on the left, on the right, and then the fuel distance, and that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy, nothing, you know, which is cool. I like the fact that it does that. It has that flexibility. No head-up display in this trim. You have to go to the Platinum, you have to go to the ST model to get a head-up display. And Ford says the design for this is kind of like a living room. You know, the inspiration for this is like a living room. Oh, and by the way, you can take this little car and you can spin them around. And now while we're here, also back to the screen, you can activate the 360 camera, so you can see, of course, all the different views. You know, sides, everything. Here's a trailer view, so you can see if you're hooking up your trailer. You had a nice top-down view, so you can see. Oh, let me go back up. You can see what's going on back there. Yeah. So let's continue in the center, and you do have a rotary dial shifter, electronic parking brake, and you have the mode selector, drive mode selector, which there are plenty. So you have Eco. And it does a nice little animation there. You have Sport. Got a little sporty animation there. You have the towing mode, tow haul. So basically it gets the car ready for when you're towing. Towing, by the way, is about 5,000 pounds. There is normal mode. And you have slippery, and it shows you wet, icy, or snowy conditions. And finally, you have off-road mode, rough, uneven, mixed terrain. So you can kind of take your Explorer off the beaten path if you choose to. And the steering wheel is very soft. I don't know if this is a Platinum trim only. I noticed the Ford logo, which traditionally has the blue blacking and the script font, it's Platinum, I guess because for Platinum, which is interesting. And yeah, so going back to the dashboard, so the inspiration was supposedly a living room. So this would be like your TV. Oh, this has, of course, wireless charging. So wireless charger right here, nice little covey, a little lip here so it doesn't fall over. You have nice soft padded stitching all over the dashboard. And this fabric material that, according to Ford, is supposed to mimic a sound bar, which kind of does, you know, sound bar underneath your TV. It goes all the way across. This has a panoramic sunroof, nice large panoramic sunroof, which opens a decent amount. The front portion opens a decent amount. The back, of course, doesn't open, but it's nice. And got a nice little wind deflector there for noise when you're driving around. And it does have an automatic power shade to make things keep things a little quiet. And that's and the center console, I got a little napkins there. It's very deep in there. You do have 2 additional USB-Cs in there, and you do have a traditional what is down here? Oh, actually I have no idea what's down there, but and you do have another little center cubby here, and that's pretty much it. Glove box, decent sized glove box, nothing crazy. You can, of course, put a laptop in there, whatever you want. All right, let's take a look at the back seat, then the third seat, and then we go for a quick drive of the 2025 Ford Explorer Platinum. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step in the back seat of the Ford Explorer. And just because you're in the back, Ford did not skimp. Ford made the materials are still very nice. This nice aluminum trim. This also material which looks like wood, and very nicely integrated sunshades, which I think every SUV in the market should come with this. I don't think this should be an optional feature across the board. This is so useful, especially for families and kids. Everybody needs to have include sunshades. There are the back seats, which are reclinable, and they're heated as well back here. And same as material, very soft materials in the front, in the seats. You do have a nice little step in there to step in. And let's step inside the back seat. I am 5'8", and I have plenty of headroom back here. And here are the controls for the climate controls screen right here. Let me just lower that a little bit so you guys can see. It says Explorer right there, nice font. You do have USB-C, and you have traditional household style outlet right there. And you have extra cup holders right here in the middle, because you do have cup holders in the doors, which is a nice little touch. And the windows, oh, very nice. The windows do go all the way down. Someone actually asked me that, and I was not able to answer because I wasn't able to test it. You do have climate vents right here on top. That's climate vents on top, which is very nice. There's a view, the commanding view of the dashboard, which is nice. And of course, it looks very airy and clear in here because of that glass roof. Let me spin the camera around, and as you guys can see, I have plenty of leg room, and these seats are reclinable, so I can do this and I can recline the seat and be very comfortable here. And there's additional cup holders right there, so of course you can get comfortable. So plenty of cup holders. You got two in the middle, one in each door. And for context purposes, each seat does have anchor points. So you have anchor points, because I have my daughter's booster seat, anchor points right here, and no anchor points in the middle, but that's okay because you can just use that the anchor points and each outer board seats. All seats are reclinable, so you can recline this one, and of course you can completely fold it if you need to carry long and weird awkward items. And it's not a bad place to be. This is not a bad place to be. Very comfortable back here. All right, so now let's get in through the third row. We'll go to the third row seat, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, to get into the third row is a very simple affair. Nothing complex here. So it does have a button right there. So you can press this button here, and the seat just slides forward, kind of like a power release. It does have nice step right here. You do have grab handle to get in. And getting in here, let me close the door because it is a little chilly. Let me put the seat to how I was sitting back there. And I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see. It's not bad. I am 5'8", so I can, let me see, recline the seat somehow. Yes, I think I can. Oh, wait a minute. No, I cannot. So they're not reclinable from in here, but I believe you can recline them from the trunk area. You can push the button and incline it. So you do have one cup holder here, that little cubby here, and you have two USB ports on the other side, none on this side for some reason, which is interesting. But you got two USB-Cs right here. You do have climate vents all the way in the third row seat to keep passengers comfortable. Little LED lighting right here. I would say this is more intended for a short trip for adults, and more for kids and adults back here. And yeah, speakers all over the A-pillars. And to get out, same way you came in. Just push this button right there. The seat slides forward like so, and you can get out. All right, let's take this Ford Explorer for a quick drive and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2025 Ford Explorer in Platinum trim. All right, I have the vehicle in normal mode. And one thing I gotta say about this, it's very, very smooth. I don't know about the other Explorers. This is actually my first time driving any Explorer, so I don't really have anything to compare in the past, but it drives very nice. I do like the fact that it has a very nice high commanding view, so you really feel like you're on top of the world, so to speak. And the engine, it's very responsive. The 10-speed automatic does a good job. I would have loved to be able to drive the the twin turbo ST version, which that's supposed to be like a beast with 400 horsepower and like 417 pounds-feet of torque, which is crazy in a family SUV. And off the bat, yeah, it's doing a good job of mitigating my not so perfect New York roads around here, and it's very smooth. The 2.3 EcoBoost, it does make its presence known when you do step on it. And let me see, but it's good. I mean, I'm gonna go into my usual loop, of course, to show you guys what it can do in a highway situation, and give you a little demo of the cruise control at it doing its thing. It probably will not be Blue Cruise, because Blue Cruise only works in designated areas that it deems okay to work. So I am going to switch the car to sport mode. Not that anybody's gonna be driving it, but the engine is a little bit louder, and I'm gonna step on it here. Wait for my turn. Oh, let me turn these lights off because I left them off. Left them on earlier. Oh, never mind. All right. So, stepping on it, it goes. There's no waiting. The transmission is eager. I'm noticing that the RPMs are holding steady. And going back to normal mode. Let me see if I could set up the cruise control here. I'm gonna set it to the local speed here, which is 60, and I will change the view so you guys can see more or less what the guidance system looks like. Let's see, let me keep going. And there is the driver assistance view, which may be hard to pick up on camera, but it's doing a good job. It's seeing the truck in front of me, the van in front of me. It's doing its thing. It's driving by itself. No issues whatsoever. And it's just yelling at me now. And of course, the system will disable itself once you turn off the cruise. Once you hit the brakes or turn signal, it will turn off the cruise control. Disable it briefly. It does have the engine start-stop system, which I personally do not like those things. I don't know if they make a huge difference. Maybe the difference is minuscule because you're sitting in traffic. But overall, this is a good product. This is the OG, the originator of modern day SUVs. The Ford Explorer was one of the ones that made SUV, that started the whole SUV trend back in the 90s, and it basically told everybody else in the industry, all the car makers, hey, we should do the same thing too. And of course, sure enough, little by little, every other SUV on the market from every brand and everybody started to join the fun and created their own competitors to the Ford Explorer. But anyway, this has been my first drive and first look at, let me turn around here so I can talk to you guys a little better. Make it also U-turn. It's actually not too bad. Not too bad. I'll reserve judgment for the V6 when I get my hands on it, hopefully, in the future. And we'll do another U-turn here. Around, and yeah, it's actually not that bad. And of course, in low speed situations, you can also enable the front-facing camera, which is cool, and it has a reverse delay. So if I put it in reverse, and it has trajectory lines, which is nice. Anyway, I'm rambling. Ford Explorer prices begin about $36,000 for the absolute bottom trim, which is the active version, which is rear-wheel drive with the EcoBoost, of course, the same motor as this one, which is there's only 2 powertrains as of right now. It's a good product. Ford did a good job. You know, the materials are soft, everything is nice. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of the piano shiny plastic in the middle here in the high traffic area, but most car companies they love their shiny plastic excuse me, in cars. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you much for liking, for sharing. Thank you, Ford, for allowing me again to have this vehicle in my home test area. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.